When the one you love acts as if your feelings are the problem, it feels both confusing and devastating. This is the moment when it starts to feel safer to question and judge yourself rather than question how they are treating you, because you start to feel like you are the problem. And then you start to wonder, what if they stop loving me? What if I really am unlovable? And even though you know somewhere deep down that this story isn't inherently true, it feels impossible not to get sucked into it. Everything in your body twists and cries out in response to this conclusion as if it's a fact, making it feel dangerous not to believe it. This is the cycle you've been desperately trying to break, but failing to. Not because you can't, and certainly not because it's true. In this conversation, we're going to uncover what's really going on underneath the surface of this suffering you're experiencing and what needs to happen for you to finally set yourself free. But before we get into this today, I just want to say welcome back to The Body Knows if you are returning. And if you were here for the first time, I trust that you'll receive exactly what you came for. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Hannah. I'm a certified EFT tapping specialist. It saved my life. And I too am a highly sensitive soul. I've lost myself many times in past relationships and have had to find my way back. So I'm here to guide you down the path I've cleared. So with that being said, let's dive into this. Now, just for a moment, remember a time when you went to someone you love, crying, desperate, telling them why something they did hurt you so badly. You weren't trying to make them feel bad or put them down. You were trying to get them to understand you. You thought maybe if they understood how you felt, maybe they would have more compassion for you, like you do for them. But instead, it only seemed to upset them more, leaving you feeling like you are too much, and that's why they're acting this way, like there's something wrong with you. That is a devastating story to believe about yourself. I know, I've lived it. It hurts you to your very core. And that pain makes you believe that conclusion must be true. But what if it's not? What if that twist in your gut, that drop in your shoulders is actually sending you a different message? One meant to support you and lead you into safety and comfort, not self-loathing, not self-abandonment. But when you were raised by people who reacted negatively to your emotions, it became easy to conclude that your emotions must be the problem, right? That your sensitivity must be the problem. But this is exactly where we humans get so confused. Your emotions, my friend, are not burdens or problems. They're sacred. But they're also not dictators on how you should react to a situation. But what they are messengers, guides, signals from your body and your intuition. Like in the situation we discussed earlier, where you reached out to them for warmth or reassurance, maybe, only to be met with their rejection. Your emotions were playing an important role. You thought they were telling you, see, you're the problem here. If only you weren't so damn sensitive. But really, what if they were trying to tell you what you're making their response mean about you isn't true? And that's why it hurts. Think of this. Think of when you twist your ankle the wrong way. What do you feel? You feel pain. And then you know, I've got to move with more care. Or when you touch a hot stove, you feel pain. You know, don't do that again. What if the same is true for your emotional self, for this sensitive part of you? When you think a thought, it sends out this rush of chemicals through your body instantaneously. Those chemicals create a sensation within you. And when it hurts, that signal from your body is saying, choose a different perspective because this one feels harmful. Really, that feeling of helplessness that you feel, of insecurity, it's trying to help you remember who you are by telling you who you are not. Just like the pain receptors in your hand told you, don't touch that, it will harm us. The same goes for how you're being treated by another person or how you're treating yourself. This emotional pain isn't just trying to tell you, no, you're not unlovable. You're not too much. Please don't believe this and leave me. It's also encouraging you to ask yourself some important questions, maybe questions you've been too afraid to ask. Instead of, what if I'm too much? It's telling you to ask, is how they're treating me acceptable to me? Is this what I want from someone I've devoted myself to? Does this feel like enough for me? But understanding this is one thing, living it is another. When you decide that you are the problem, it gives you something to fix that's within your control, right? It gives you hope that somehow if you change, you can keep their love. Everything will turn around. Everything will work out, right? And when you believe that you're unlovable, fixing yourself seems safer than questioning the person hurting you. Because everything in your body is fighting for their love as a way to disprove that belief that you're unlovable. Why? Because believing that you're unlovable triggers these feelings of being rejected and unwanted. And that puts your nervous system into self-preservation mode. And you've heard these before: fight, flight, fawn, freeze, right? In subtle or not so subtle ways. It's a draining place to be because it's literally survival mode. Because when you enter that state, you're no longer feeling safe. You could have been living in that survival mode without realizing it because it's so practiced. It's so normal to you, to your body, to your nervous system. It used to be incredibly normal for me too. And your mind tells you the only way to feel safe again, which is your body's job to keep you safe, okay? It tells you the only way to feel safe again is to be loved by someone, to be chosen by them. Can you see this loop that we're calling out? When really, my friend, and I need you to hear me when I say this, the only love you actually need, the only acceptance you actually need is your own. And that is exactly what that painful emotion is asking for. You think it's asking for their love to feel safe again, but no, it's not asking for love from them. Although that does feel nice, that's okay. But it's asking for love from you. Because somewhere along the way, unknowingly, you learned to reject yourself so you could feel more acceptable by the people that you depended on. Why? To survive. And it just became a part of who you are. Not the truth, but a survival habit nonetheless. But the great news is, habits can be broken. And when they are, someone else withdrawing their love from you no longer causes you to withdraw your own. You can feel that fear without immediately turning it into proof that you are, in fact, unlovable. Instead, you can pause, you can listen, and you can ask yourself, what do I need right now from me? You can decide whether the way you're being treated is acceptable to you without your body convincing you that losing them means losing everything. You stop abandoning your own thoughts, your own desires, your own needs to become acceptable to them, and you start deciding what is acceptable to you. That doesn't mean that their rejection doesn't hurt or that you'll stop wanting their love or to be loved. Wanting connection is a basic human need, but it means their response no longer determines whether you deserve to be loved in the first place. Because that's where true suffering originates, from believing that you are unworthy of the love your heart craves. And from that place of self-loyalty, you have the power to respond to the moment with clarity instead of fear. You never have to leave yourself behind again, which is exactly what brought you to this place in the first place. Someone leaving you when you needed them most. And no one ever correcting the story that you started telling yourself about it. And that is when you finally start to feel whole, accepted, and truly important, because you are. When you stop needing it from them and you start giving it to yourself. And the beautiful thing is, once you have that connection to yourself, it makes it a lot easier for people who actually want to love you for who you are to find you. And it makes the ones who aren't right for you, it makes them obvious. But maybe you're reading this thinking, okay, but how do I actually do that when my whole body is begging me to chase their love, to forget about how I feel and what I need, to focus on them? How do I do it? And my friend, that's exactly where my work comes in. That's why I'm here right now. Because you don't have to keep losing yourself every time love feels uncertain from someone else. You don't have to keep understanding this pattern intellectually, right? Like understanding what the fuck's going on, only to find yourself right back inside of it. The moment someone withdraws from you, rejects you, or makes you question your worth. And as a highly sensitive person, as a self-aware woman, as the self-aware woman that you are, I know that you've experienced that too many times. And inside my 30-day inner reclaim, I help people like you, those sensitive, deeply aware women, work with their fears, the beliefs, the survival habits that are running this cycle, keeping it alive. So choosing yourself becomes something you can actually do when it matters most. This is a private, deeply supportive, intimate EFT journey designed to help you stop abandoning yourself in your relationships and finally stay loyal to who you truly are, no matter what anyone else is thinking, feeling, or doing around you. And that's what your body's asking for. That's what that painful emotion is pleading for. My friend, I am currently welcoming the next 5 women at the founding client rate of $1,500. Once those 5 spaces are filled, the investment will increase to $2,500. But there are weekly and biweekly payment plans available during the duration, if that would work better for you. But if you're tired of knowing that this pattern is hurting you, but you still feel powerless to stop it, you're welcome to schedule a clarity call. I'll have it linked for you. Or you can private message me. Let's talk about what it would look like to finally break this cycle for real. I love you so much. I have been where you are. I understand how badly it hurts. I understand the cost. And I am here to help you. I'll catch you in the next conversation, my friend. Mwah.